I'm too sexy for my love, too sexy for my love, love's going to leave me.
Oh, Mr. Brian Snyder with high-waisted pants, glasses, and that comb over.
Well, I think I said goofball so many times now, so that's one of them. Positive energy.
And I am too sexy for Milan, too sexy for Milan, New York and Japan.
Comedic.
Hurtful.
He is one of the best people in the entire world.
I am too sexy for your party, too sexy for your party. The way I'm disco dancing.
Loud. He, during our studio production class, I just remember being the reporter and sitting on the ground and just hearing, screams from the control room.
Then I'm gonna go with leader. He's just a great leader. I will follow Brian Snyder into the gates of hell to defeat Satan.
Hilarious, inappropriate, and genuine.
Brian is sarcastic in probably the best way possible.
My car too sexy by far, and I'm too sexy for my hat, too sexy for my hat. What you think about that?
And glue, and I say glue because he's the one I feel that brings the students, connecting them with the instructors here, and he was really the one that just brings us all together.
Yeah, I shake my little touch on the catwalk.
He's gonna be thoughtful, definitely hilarious, and just good, goodness. The word, I feel like Brian Snyder is the embodiment of goodness.
I don't know what the word is for this, but he don't take no S from nobody. Poo-poo.
I took his studio production class my freshman year. And the first day I was on graphics. Somewhere along the line there was a disconnect where I didn't really pick up on that I was doing this incorrectly. And the girl sitting next to me was someone I had known since second grade. I hadn't seen her in about 8 months, so we started catching up. So we get to the shows, and first time through, we get about 35 seconds in. And Snyder's going, hold it. Graphics, you're late, come on, let's get it going. So we reset. Second time, I was too early. And it eventually gets to the point where he stops class, brings everybody in from the studio, and goes, let this be a lesson to you, to every single one of you. When you should be practicing, you should be practicing, not trying to hit on the cute blonde next to you.
I came to ASU, first of all, from U of A, and I met Brian in studio production, and we had to go around and introduce ourselves. And we had to say one thing about ourselves, and I was like, oh, hi, my name's Alexis, and I just transferred here from the University of Arizona, and everybody was silent, and Brian just stared at me.
He would yell at these kids that were just schmoes. They weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing, and they would press buttons like it was an arcade in Chicago, and a mentorship romance started to begin there. But where I really got to know Brian is I started a show called Devil's Chowder. I talked to him about doing it, and he was just so on board, and he taught me everything. I had no reason to jump on board with my idea and did it, just because he's a really great guy.
I've known him for over 10 years now. He was my journalism teacher in high school, and we had the most awful principal at the high school that I was at, and she wouldn't let us print any of the newspapers that we made because she was just screwing with our First Amendment right, and he couldn't say words like naval, all this was just too controversial, and Snyder fought for us and fought for our right to print those newspapers, and because of it, he lost his job at the high school that I was at, and I think that was my first glimpse into the idea that there were adults that cared.
Now all I want is a smile.
You know, he likes to serenade people. When I broke up with my boyfriend in high school, he sang Love on the Rocks to me all the time.
Oh, when we were shooting Chowda, Brian wanted me to like wear like a green shirt, like a green like whole like bodysuit, but just like cut out my nipples. Like you just see two floating nipples.
I used to have this New York Times lanyard on my keychain, and he would just say, huh, well, New York Times, excuse us, and then he would do that face that he does. And now, seeing this video, he'll probably see this CNN shirt I'm wearing and say, huh, well, CNN, excuse us.
One of these days he's going to learn my name, and one of these days he's going to realize that my name is not Greg, I'm Glenn. He has not got that down. I've worked for him for 2.5 years now, and he still calls me Greg about half the time. I had to do a project for him a couple weeks ago, and I told him when I was finished with it, I was like, yeah, everything's just in a folder called Greg's folder. And I don't think he got why that was funny at first.
I mean, the experience that I obviously think of is just him giving me so much for wearing shirts like this. And, you know, he's never gonna let it down. I don't know if he's just not a fan of the 80s or didn't like them coming back or what. Like, I'm really not sure. But, you know, like, they're comfortable, Brian. Every time I put on one of these t-shirts, I do think of him. That is kind of creepy, but it's true.
I just remember him always coming into the lab while I'm working there and, hey, Latina, and just acting crazy and making fun of me.
He was in the my high school's musical, The Phantom of the Opera. And he was in that, and I was like, who is this guy, this journalism teacher that's now like in the Phantom of the Opera?
Hi everybody, and welcome to Downtown Disney, in Anaheim, home of Disneyland, and of course, California Adventure. Dreams happen!
Ashley and Megan and I were talking about going to Disneyland last year, and we were discussing it in the lab, trying to figure out what days we could go, and Brian came in and got super offended that we hadn't invited his 40-year-old self to Disneyland.
For a day, Rachel, Megan, and I, and Brian all did Disneyland.
We were like, oh, we want ice cream. And of course, Brian's like, yeah, ice cream. So we go and we're walking into the ice cream shop. There's this lady with a stroller and another older lady, and he goes, oh, what ice cream do you have? It looks delicious. And the lady's like, oh, like Belgian chocolate or something like that. I don't know, some crazy flavor. He goes, oh, I think I'm gonna get that. And we go to the ice cream parlor, and there's a huge line, and we're like, we're not waiting in this line. Then we have to walk back. We pass these ladies, and Brian talks to them again and says, oh, the line was too long, and we're just not gonna wait, so you enjoy that ice cream. And the lady goes, you know what, she's asleep, so here, take her ice cream. And Brian's like, oh, really? Thanks. So here's Brian, who doesn't even have to wait in line for ice cream, doesn't have to pay for it. He gets free ice cream at Disneyland from this random lady he didn't know.
It's supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious. If you say it loud enough...
He was determined to meet or see Mary Poppins. We don't know why, it was just, that was his girl. We were walking back, and the parade is going, and he hears Mary Poppins' song, books it.
He is sprinting towards this parade to find Mary Poppins. Elbowing little kids. I saw like an ice cream go into a little kid's face. I think there was a grandma that got knocked over somewhere along the way, and Brian's, Mary! Mary! Mary Poppins!
He's weaseled his way in the front of children, trying to take pictures of Mary Poppins. And he's like jumping up in the air, and he's like, I see her! I see her! So it was just that moment of him being able to let go and know that he was comfortable with us just as well as we were comfortable with him made that trip so much better.
I don't think there's a single decision that he makes at the Cronkite School or really in his life that is solely based for him. I think it's, you know, to benefit the students, to benefit the school as a whole, to benefit his family.
He loves his job in the sense of helping them get to where he knows they can be. And that's before they know what they can do or where they can be.
I am so incredibly lucky to have had him not only as a boss for the last few years, to have him as a boss for the last few years, but also to have him as what I consider to be one of my really good friends.
I love his updates, like on Facebook and Instagram. I just love it. I read them probably quicker and faster than I read the ESPN updates, honestly. I'm like, oh, what did his team do? So yeah, it just shows what a great father he is.
Even though he loves all of us so much and brings us into his family, Brian is like first and foremost a family man. He is a coach for both of his kids. He's there for everything that they do. I would only be lucky to have a dad like Brian Snyder.
Hello, Brian. Thank you so much for literally everything you've ever done for me, from letting us do the show to the Christian Almanpour when you let me direct, all the opportunities you've let me do, and you're there for us. You're there for me, and I can't thank you more.
If I have something crazy going on with my friends or like going on in my life, I can pretty much go, Brian, so this happened and this happened and this happened. And you know, I think we have that relationship where you can do the same thing with me. So I really cherish that. Everything that you've done for all of us in the broadcast lab and here at Cronkite, we cherish. And I think you've done a spectacular job at your job. And I think you need to make yourself happy, and you sure have made a difference with us in making us happy.
Thank you so much for all that you have done for me, have done for the students, and continue to do. You are an incredible resource, an incredible friend to have, someone that will always go to bat for the students to make sure that they have the best experience possible. And I know that there are so many people that, when thinking about Cronkite, and people who impacted them, you're a name that would come up as one of the first ones. So just thank you so much for all that you do and continue to do.
I think you don't know sometimes how much you mean to all of us, and I just want you to know how much we all love you, and that how much you make our days and our years here so much better.
Thank you for being a friend.
You've helped me become a very established young woman that I didn't know I could be when I was just a freshman when I had met you. And here I am with a master's degree and pursuing a job. And it's so great to have you by my side and to help me throughout this whole entire experience in a way that has been so fun throughout the entire process.
Every student at Cronkite, has that one teacher, and I know for me that that is you. I am your guy and you are my guy, and I know that. And I know that whatever I need, anything I've needed while I've been here or anything that I'm going to need, I know that I can always give you a call, and I appreciate that more than you know.
I always say that had you not hired me into the broadcast lab sophomore year, most of the experiences I had in college I wouldn't be able to share today, and most of the individuals that I was able to meet through those experiences I wouldn't know. So thanks for that, and I owe that to you. And on an ending note, in the words of Brian Snyder, boy, oh boy.
I probably, if I didn't meet you, would have been like some film major or studied creative writing or something stupid like that. But you, every day I come in, you teach me how to be positive in any environment, and to come in with just so much passion and just greasing up your elbows and really going for it. And I'm so inspired by you. I can't tell you enough how much you really impacted my life here at Cronkite.
Thank you so much for just always being a supporter and encourager throughout my college career here and then thereafter. Your support and your love means the world to me, and I know many others as well.
Everything I have to show for college was due to you. We all know I was a shy, conservative person before taking your class, and after you extending a limb, I really came out of my shell and was able to, I don't know, come out and be myself. So it's going to be hard to leave. It really is. And I know that I really have my own family here, and I can always depend on you if I need to. Okay, I'm done. I hate you guys.
Recently, when I was teaching high schoolers, my goal was to be a teacher like you are a teacher, like you have always been. But you have been an inspiration to me in so many ways. The way that you stand up for what's right, the way that you continue to make people feel like they matter. You're just a really good person, and like I said, you are the embodiment of goodness.
There's no way I could ever express how much your friendship means to me. I'll always look back on the memories associated with the Broadcast Lab as some of my favorite college experiences, and I have you to thank for that. You've taught me a lot, not only about the journalism world, but also about what it is to be a true employee, to be a true friend, and to really care about someone. You give your whole heart to this company and to this school and the students involved in it, and I think that the entire Cronkite School is better because of you. I love you, and I can't wait to continue our friendship over the next few years.